Hey, and welcome to this special edition of the ILEETA Learning Lab. I'm Joe Willis, the Deputy Executive Director for ILEETA, the International Law Enforcement Educators and Trainers Association. We host our annual conference in St. Louis, Missouri each year. From this year, it's from March 16th through the 21st, and we have about 130 instructors coming to that conference. Today, I'm talking with Mike Johnson. He's one of them, and he's going to be doing a course on instructor development for shotguns. The specific name of the course is Shotgun Instructor Development. And so, Mike, without any further ado, I want to talk to you today about your course, how it came to be, and why this topic is so important. So talk to me a little bit about that, and then what you've got planned for us on the range.
I was asked by John Meyer, who worked for Team 1, to develop a workshop that would help to bring firearms instructors better information on how to teach the shotgun, which was falling away from our profession. So based on my skill, I've been shooting a shotgun since I was 14 years old. And I've learned over the years that there's things that you can do to make the shotgun more shooter friendly, but that's the instructor learning what it is he needs to have the student do to make them successful. The biggest complaint with the shotgun is it hurts. Well, of course it's going to hurt. It has 45 pounds of recoil impulse with high brass loads. But if you learn how to mitigate that recoil impulse, then it becomes more comfortable to shoot and doesn't hurt you in training. The problem with shooters is, go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, let's explore a couple of those things a little bit more. So first of all, shotgun versus patrol rifle. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Let's talk about, is it a this or that? Is it a this and that? And why one over the other?
Well, actually, it's a this one and that one, because a shotgun can't do what a patrol rifle will do at distances, but a patrol rifle can't do what a shotgun can do at close distances. The amount of energy that's expelled when you send that 12 gauge round down range is much greater than the impact from a 5.56 at close range. I was talking to a student in one of the classes. He was a overseas veteran. I believe it was in Iraq. And we're out there doing shotgun training. And he's like, I love this gun. I love this gun. I'm like, why do you love this gun and not the patrol rifle? You're a military guy. He goes, when I was overseas, I carried a 5.56. He goes, I shot a bunch of people up close and they ran away. He goes, my squad leader carried a shotgun. Everybody he shot was right there waiting for us. So it's not a, this one's better than that one. It's these two are two tools that we need to have in the toolbox, because one of them may work in one place where the other one might. So we got to have the ability to make that choice.
Okay, so let's talk about that making that choice thing real quick, which I think is probably part of an instructor development program, is teaching the instructor to teach the officers which one is best under which circumstances. So let's say I have access to both in the storage compartment of my vehicle, whether it's a trunk or a hatchback on an SUV or whatever. I can grab either or. Talk to me about the mindset, the thought process of which one do I grab?
It's going to be situational dependent. So if I have a great distance, I'm on an I get to a location where I can't get close. I can't get closer than 50 yards. I'm going to take the rifle out of my car and I'm going to use my rifle because I know that it's built for that. It's built for that distance. But if I'm going to clear a building, I'm probably going to bring my shotgun with me, simply because it works better in that close environment. They're both about the same length, so you can't tell me that, I can carry this one and not carry that one because this one's easier to move around through the building, because they're exactly the same. You carry an entry shotgun, 14-inch barrel. You carry an entry rifle, 11.5-inch barrel. There's 3 inches difference, so you can work both of those. You can basically negate that argument. But I'm getting more power. Double-aught buck, I'm sending 9 .33 caliber downrange at one time. Imagine what that does when it hits the target. And for the
For sure.
instructors, test it. Go out to your range, put a camera on a piece of steel, go back 100 yards, shoot it with a rifle, see what it does. And then walk up with double-aught buckshot at 15 yards and shoot it and see what it does. You will see a massive energy dump.
Yeah, and no doubt. No, so well, in that case, let's talk about the combat load for shotgun. What are you teaching? What do you recommend? What's the round stack? Do you mix rounds? What's your thought process there? And what are you teaching?
So for me, it depends on my gun, the shotgun. You know, my Benelli M2. My Benelli M2 will pattern double-aught buckshot rounds within an 8-inch circle out to about 35 yards. So I'm very comfortable carrying nothing but buckshot in the gun. I have slugs available, and if I need to, I can swap out a round to get that other round down range, which is one of the things that I teach in the class. How to efficiently swap the round if it's not the one that you need.
Absolutely. And having seen you done that, so let's talk. Okay, so now we're on that. So I know in the course you're going to talk about selection and differences of long range platforms, and the shotgun and the rifle have had this ongoing debate for as long as we've had them, whether it's for multiple purposes. When it comes to the picking of them, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's mission dependent, right? If I know I'm going to be in that environment where a shotgun makes more sense, I'm going to be closer range, that sort of thing. Also, if I'm part of a team, and the team dynamics present themselves in such a way that there are plenty of rifles available, I'm the one that grabs a shotgun. Or I may say to one of my patrolmen, hey, grab your shotgun. Everybody else has rifles. Totally makes sense in that. Now let's talk about the round capacity that we have in a patrol rifle, 30 on average, but we definitely have the ability to change magazines faster and that sort of thing. Your average shotgun is not carrying 30 rounds, right? So let's talk about what you teach to kind of overcome well, I've got more rounds in a patrol rifle.
Well, if I'm carrying double-aught buck, 9 pellet, I'm carrying 45 bullets. I get to shoot 9 rounds into one trigger pull with one trigger pull, which is a very accurate trigger pull. Carrying extra rounds isn't hard. I mean, typically you've got down a Remington 870 standard gun. 4 rounds in the gun. You put 1 more round in the chamber when you go operational. You have a side saddle. It's got 6 more rounds in it. If you got a plate carrier on, I would suggest using the shotgun cards, the Velcro cards, because those will slide into an M4 pouch. You can have 4 or 5 more reloads right there. So you can carry 30 or 40 rounds if you want to. If it takes you 30 or 40 rounds to finish the fight, something's not going right for you.
No, that makes sense. So I think this is one of those, ongoing debates, and I hear you loud and clear about the number of pellets downrange. I definitely have more of them, but trigger pull wise, I've got 5 rounds, then I have to reload. But I think you've hit the nail on the head that in a firefight, don't bring a shotgun. If you know it's a gunfight and you need rounds downrange, grab your patrol rifle. There's a purpose. This is Joe speaking here, but you may disagree with me, and others may as well. But if I know I need round capacity and I'm going to be firing a lot of rounds, the shotgun may not be the gun I choose. But as you've described, it has its purpose. It has a very solid performance and a solid history track record in being able to be used in the close range gunfight, clearing buildings, that sort of thing. It is a solid platform from that. I hear you loud and clear. You're going to teach on the range. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it wasn't a solid platform, General Pershing would have used it in World War I and made the Germans mad because they were using that killing machine.
Valid. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I mean, it is. It's for as long as there's been the debate between, long gun platforms, that there has been a discussion between which one serves its purpose best. And you allude to it very well, that there is a purpose for each one. Now, talk me through the class, because I've seen you teach bits and pieces of this. I haven't seen the whole class taught, but what I have seen is you spend time with the instructor students. And again, just for those listening that may hear this later on, ILEETA is not an end user conference, right? So just like many of the other classes that Mike and some of these folks teach, it's about training trainers. And so when I've seen you out there with trainers, Mike, one of the things you do well is you teach them how to teach those rapid reload sort of things, how to get the shells in the gun quickly, and then teach others how to do that. So talk us through the class as it's going to happen. It's a 4-hour program. You're out on the range. It's going to be a fun day on the range no matter what. But let's talk through what they're going to get once they get out to the range.
Well, so I've given them a specific round count to bring. Nothing says we're going to get to shoot all those rounds, because as we go through the class, if they don't understand the concepts, I can't move them further. So first thing we're going to start off working on is basically the platform or shooting stance. Once they understand the shooting stance and how to mitigate their recoil impulses, then I can move on. We can shoot. The next thing I'll teach you how to do is, after you shot one round, if you have the opportunity, put another round in, right? So attack load for shotguns. You send one out, put another one in. So you've always got the gun as full as it can be. So whatever you shoot out, you want to try and get back into it in that deployment. Then we'll talk about how to combat load the gun. You've run the gun dry, but you're at a distance where transitioning to my pistol just really is an option right now because of my skill level. So I'm going to try and get this long gun up and running again. And I'll walk them through the process of how to emergency load quickly without the chance for mistake. All right, missing the load or taking too much time. I show them how to be as efficient as possible when you're doing this. Am I going to have them throw the gun over their shoulder and do a quad load? No, because we would never do that in our business. Right? But I will show them how to get rounds into the gun as efficiently as possible.
Love it.
And then we'll just start working on. We'll start working on. We'll do a little bit. If we get a chance, shooting position. We'll work on the shooting position so they kind of understand what the gun's going to do to the student when they're shooting it, so they can kind of help them out with making that position as stable as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I having come from a little bit of experience in this as well, the average person does struggle with the platform as you've defined it. Even those who have shot shotgun for hunting or, sports shooting, that sort of thing. There's a difference between moving and shooting as in a combat situation, where establishing that platform for solid reliability and accuracy is incredibly important. Now, you work a lot with Benelli and other semi-auto shot. Benelli is primarily the one you work with, but there are other semi-auto shotguns out there. How does that play into it? What do you teach as far as working with semi-auto shotguns?
So they're all pretty much the same. They all have the same tools and things. It's about how it's driven. Benelli is inertia driven, but the M4 is piston driven. So it's like, look at the shotgun, figure out what it does, and then you can manipulate what I'm teaching you to fit the shotgun. I did a class up for one agency that was going to go with Benelli shotguns. They decided to go with something else, but they still brought me up. We still did a class because they had one of those their testing gun available, so we could look at it, figure out how it operated, and then run a drill and say, this is how you're going to run the drill with this shotgun. So the drills are easily to move back and forth between platforms, whatever manufacturer you want to pick up.
And I think it's less about the manufacturer, and you hit the nail on the head. And I guess I apologize for not asking the question well. It's not about the manufacturer. And sure, when it comes to armoring and maintenance and that kind of stuff, there is some changes. And you're doing an armor course for us actually at ILEETA for the Benelli platform. That's why I mentioned that. But It's largely, though, from my perspective, when you have to pump and re-rack that next round, there's an opportunity to re-engage your core, re-engage posture, and prepare to fire, draw the gun back in there. But unlike a AR platform where I can pull the trigger standing on my tiptoes numerous times and really still maintain somewhat of a solid core and firing platform, that shotgun's going to rock you, and a semi-auto, they become less and less accurate. Have you seen that as an instructor?
Yes, because of the cycle of fire on the semi-autos, it's really easy to become imbalanced when you're shooting them. So that's one of the things that you have to spend a lot of time on as the instructor, is getting your students to understand they have to have that balance point all the time and how to find it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
one of the big things.
yeah, absolutely. And, I've seen it, and I think that makes absolute sense the way you worded it there. You've got to spend time on it. So as we kind of come towards the end of this portion of the interview, I've got a couple of quick questions for you. For those who can't make it to the conference, and I want everybody to come to the conference. In fact, I think you've still got a couple slots left in your class. So hopefully, some folks watching this catch this before they're gone. But for supervisors and trainers, what would you recommend as far as getting folks more familiar with the shotgun as a viable option for its purpose and being comfortable switching out the two for the right situations?
Well, as professionals, I mean, a doctor, when he goes into surgery, doesn't say, well, I'm not going to use that instrument because I don't like it. So the same thing with us is I have to be comfortable with all of my tools and be able to utilize them effectively if I'm going to consider myself a professional in this business. It's about investing the time. And that's the biggest thing, is in our business, we don't like to invest time in things.
Yeah. Well, and it definitely takes time as you switch from one to the next. And I think, like you said, I like that analogy. The doctor should not choose, I'm not going to use that tool because I'm just not a fan of it. But in its time, in its purpose, every tool in the toolbox has a valid, contribution to the fight, whatever that is. And so I think, if I'm hearing you correctly, supervisors and trainers encourage people to get outside of their comfort zone. And if they're the one who continuously grabs the patrol rifle and, neglects the shotgun, there may be a time to do that. And I think one of the ways to do it is, in a scenario based situation, and kind of check me on this if you agree or disagree, but in a scenario situation where the officer gets to determine the best weapon platform to choose, and then they run through the scenario, and after everything's over in the AAR, you ask that individual and or the entire team weapon selection choice. You had the choice between the shotgun and the rifle. Which one did you choose and why? And then let them kind of self-discover, in this situation, at no point was I at a distance longer than, 7 to 10 feet. And the individual I shot did not go down right away. Could that have been different if I had a shotgun? That sort of thing. A little bit of guided discovery, perhaps.
Yeah, that would work out great. The training stuff is like for all the guys that come, all the folks coming to the class. You uploaded the documents for me. Basically, what I uploaded was a dry fire practice plan for shotguns, a 25 round range practice plan for shotguns, and incapacitation drills, how to work it if you're injured. So those are things that they can pull down from the site to help them with the training side of it.
Yeah, which, by the way, as those become available, folks, get into those folders and just start digging. There is so much good stuff there. And I can tell you that the firearms instructors outdid themselves this year. As a whole, Todd Fletcher is running the firearms instructor panel, and he's got instructors from this year and previous years all contributing to this folder. the library that's developing in there is something you're going to want to consume, and you're going to want to save and share. So anyway, Mike, as we come to the end of this here, I want to, first of all, thank you for everything you've done for ILEETA over the years. You've taught numerous times, highly anticipated, highly attended classes, very highly regarded instructor. But the shotgun is your platform. I mean, for as long as I've known you, you've been the go-to guy for shotguns. And so, not that you're not a go-to guy on everything else, but when it comes to shotguns, you're the person people point to. So I think there's a lot of really good stuff that's going to happen. And you're teaching an armor class during the week as well, which we really didn't have time to talk about in this short conversation. But if it's not full, it's going to be. I think it's filling up pretty quickly. So lots of great stuff there. Last words. I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions at the end of this. So I'll ask you to stick around for just a second. But any last words for folks who are trying to debate whether or not they want to spend those 4 hours out at the range on the shotgun? And it's not for everybody. If you've got something you need to get to and you're not going to be teaching shotgun, it's not your class. It's not the one for you. But if you're up in the air and you do teach shotgun, that sort of thing, Mike, what would you tell them?
Well, you're going to get come out. You're going to get to see a different instructor style from me, which is always good as an instructor to see the way other people do things, the way other people say things, to help cement that learning with our students. So that's the one thing I would say you bring to the table. If you're not a primary firearms instructor, but you want to get more information about a shotgun, that would be the place to go. Because, I'm not going to tell you all the ins and outs. It's going to be 4 hours, but I'll give you enough information where you can make yourself comfortable with that platform.
Love it. Awesome.
And we're going to get to do a lot of cool shooting.
Well, and that's a valid point. And like you said, you're not like you've given them a number of rounds that are specific. You may not get to shoot in all of them, but having seen you teach a couple of times, there will be some fun drills. You're going to get better technically at shooting, but as you mentioned, there's a tactical component where you're going to get some position work and that sort of thing. And just the establishment of what it takes to teach somebody to get comfortable with the shotgun. Because I can almost guarantee, the majority of people coming out to the ranges, whether it's for in-service that prefer not to use it or the academy and have never even looked at one in real life, people are scared of the shotgun because of its, mythical features that it has in the movies. You shoot somebody and they go flying a million feet away and all that kind of stuff. It is a powerful platform, but I think it over scares people, and to get comfortable with it is something that is absolutely important for us to do in the space we work in. And so anyway, I took your last word. So any last words for the group before we move on to the next thing?
Come to the conference. It's one of the better ones out there. If not, I can't say it's the best because I'm also on the board of directors for ILEETA.
Which is also a great conference. Really, brother and sister associations here, right? Like we get along well. We swap tables. We're all friends. So yeah, by all means, you can promote ILEETA on here all day long because we know that ILEETA is a good supporter of ILEETA, and we love you guys over there. So yeah, anyway, you can't say it's the best, but damn it, it's a good one.
Yes, it's neck and neck.
Love it.
With
awesome.
with ILEETA, I would say, out there right now.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mike, for being here with us today. I cannot wait to see you in just a couple of short weeks, and we will definitely have to catch up while we're there. So look forward to seeing you.
All right. Look forward to seeing you.